Namaskaram and welcome to Sadhana, the Inward Path. Yes, it's a new series and new beginnings, and what better way to start than with the ushering in of a new year. We also take Sadhana to the doggies with a peek into a seva project in New Delhi, then celebrate the lessons of our glorious Hinduism by putting principles into practice with a march steeped in history. The new year brings with it new hope, a fresh start, and ample opportunities for a better life. Puthanda, the Tamil New Year, falls in mid-April on the Gregorian calendar. Sadhana celebrated the birth of the new year with the Tamil Federation of Gauteng in Lenasia.
This year marks 5115. The meaning of this year is, in Tamil they would say Jaya Paradam, which means the year of victory.
This new year for us celebrates a new beginning. Just as the English New Year for us is a new beginning for the year, this is a new beginning for everything. And I think for us as Tamilians and Hindus that we need to prioritize this as well, because this is our culture, this is where we come from. I think this should take precedence over the English or the Western New Year. I think this is a very momentous occasion because it's also one occasion that brings us together as a community. Our culture particularly has not been really polluted. It is really pure. Even if you look at just the words, there's nothing that has been changed from 5,000 years back up to this present date. The words are as is, the language as is. The way we perform things in the temple, music, dance, the way it has been done and the way it has been written 5,000 years ago is the way that we still practice it.
We have got local teachers, we have got local talent, and the Tamil Federation wants to give leadership in this, where we can get teachers better equipped, give them the resources of teaching and give them the support structures. Once all that is in place, it would be easy to transcend into the language being taught.
Victory for us as Tamil people, accomplishment in unity. So let's stop sitting back. Let's all make our little input into our society.
What happens today is, firstly, we have all the musicians and the dancers who are coming together under one umbrella. What we did was we've asked each of our affiliates to give us 2 items, and they've chose obviously the music and the dance. I think the important thing for us today is that you got young and old who are coming together to share the stage.
It is a saying that means to pray in a temple is good. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean that praying in your home is not good, but it means that praying in a temple and worshipping in a temple is good, because we come together in a temple and we give off all our energies and contribute to one source where everybody can benefit.
The Atma, or soul, found in every living being is a manifestation of divinity itself. To see and serve God in his different forms is indeed the mark of an ardent bhakta. This was the inspiration behind Mudita Chandra, a young lady who helps run the Sai Animal Welfare Ashram in Delhi, that is home to over 300 abandoned and abused dogs.
Hi, you guys. Hi, you guys. Oh, jo bachche. Oh, jo bachche.
Brahman and Atman, the supreme creator and the individual soul, are the two pillars on which the whole edifice of Hindu philosophy rests, where the supreme being embodies itself in all of creation, in nature, in man, and even in dogs.
I basically have loved dogs my entire life since I was maybe 4 or 5. And I've always had animals come to me, come to my house, they come to eat, they come, you know, if they're on their last legs, they'll come for medical care, they'll come just to drink water, for medication, just for love. I find dogs to be just pure unconditional love, and I also think that they connect you to a part of yourself that a lot of us, you know, in your day-to-day life you get a bit disconnected from, and I think they continually bring you back to yourself, which I love. And if I'm ever in a bad mood or feeling low or anything, I just hang out with dogs. Or like, have you seen how a dog eats his bone or his meal or whatever? You know, they really relish each moment. If they're sleeping, they're just in la la land. If you look at, they're like babies. You know, they remember being connected to pure source and, you know, pure connection, which I really like. I found this place because I think I always wanted a shelter of my own, and I ended up meeting the gentleman who ran this shelter during a protest rally where they were killing animals in Bangalore. They were killing dogs, killing them in very abominable ways, where, you know, they were stringing them up, hanging them on trees, injecting them with poison, which made them die a very slow and horrible death because it went in very slowly and made their hearts explode. So I met the gentleman who ran this shelter then, and he told me that he ran this place, and I had a dog at that time who somebody had abandoned, and she used to cry a lot. So he told me, why don't you bring her here? So I brought her here, and she was perfectly fine. I think she just wanted company. She wanted dog company. And I used to come here gradually, you know, whenever I could. And I'd help out. I loved feeding the dogs, and I'd bring them bones and things to chew on and biscuits and things like that. And then he died at the end of the year, the gentleman who ran the shelter. And when he died, there was no one really to look after the shelter, because even though his family loves dogs and things, they're not as involved, you know. They're a great source of help now to us because they help us with the staff salaries, a lot of other expenses. They do it in the memory of their father. But as a rule, you know, on the day-to-day running, there was no one really there. And we had some volunteers who came in, but, you know, after a bit of time, you know, everyone went back to their lives. And I've stuck on. So you just help in the day-to-day running, and we have other volunteers still who help us.
Although animals, dogs are well known to embody higher values of loyalty, courage, and being totally in the moment of experience. Values spiritual seekers strive to inculcate.
They've made for a dog called Bali, and then they've constructed a little home for the dog to sit on. So our dogs can sit in there. And in the winter we put blankets in there, so it's, you know.
Although man is considered superior to animals, humans are also well known to cause pain and suffering to animals. It is noble souls like Mudita that shine as examples of selfless service and provide a glimmer of hope to our furry friends.
Then there's Oscar. Dear Oski, you were the only one on earth who loved us more than you loved yourself. Namita
This
Nishan
love and respect for all life is born out of the Hindu principle of oneness, where the absolute, the one, is experienced in the many. Just as we revere and respect our departed family and friends, so too many dog lovers remember and pay tribute to their pets by sharing their love with the dogs at the shelter.
We also have this thing recently which people have started doing, which is, you know, when their parents have passed, and if their parents were big lovers of animals, they come and on their death anniversary come and feed all the dogs. Or if it's their child's birthday, or just a special event, you know, where a lot of young kids also really like coming here. So we have tie-ups with schools where they come and just spend an hour a month in 6 months, once in 6 months. You know, it's not a fixed thing. They can come whenever they feel like it.
You know, in India we have, you know, not enough people doing things for animals, and you see so many animals suffering. And I think that you keep waiting for someone else to take charge. Like you want your government, you want, you know, your neighbor, you want someone else to do it. But for me it was that taking charge and, you know, being the example and setting the example and saying, I can do this in my community. So for example, I sterilize all the dogs in my area and I look after all the dogs in my area, and I'm sure someone else could do it where they are.
We have a lot to learn from animals, especially like, you know, if you look at how kind a cow's eyes are, or how unconditionally loving dogs and loyal. And if you even see them in a normal sense with dogs, you know, they'll be chewing on a bone or playing with a ball or drinking water. They're very in the moment. I've seen people who are scared of dogs, or they don't like them, and I feel that they're cutting themselves off from something that's quite natural. And if they open themselves up to that, they notice other things opening up in their lives as well. So
Welcome back to Sadhana, the Inward Path. This year, the Gandhi Development Trust marked the 10th anniversary of its annual Salt Walk. Coming up next, we meet the walkers who took to the streets in solidarity with Gandhiji's principles of Satya and Ahimsa.
Satya means truth and Agraha means persuasion. Satyagraha also means soul force. Each one of us has a spirit within us, and we harness the power of the spirit within us. It is a force that can work. You just have to have patience, you have to have the right will and the right understanding. And this is what we are trying to promote through this march.
Initially, Gandhiji did the Salt March in defiance in India. And I think what we are addressing is the non-violence aspect that each one of us can become part of. Even if we had a violent past, and we've seen our own country come together you know, from apartheid to democracy, and how we work together.
It celebrates the life and achievements of Gandhi and Nkosi Luthuli.
What Gandhiji showed us is that there's another way of changing the world, and that is through Satyagraha. And if we want to change the world, we have to be humble.
Looking back 10 years, the Gandhi Salt March is growing from strength to strength. It's very important that our city is also partner to it. So it gives us a big clout to say, you know, it's just not the Gandhi Development Trust or the partners that are doing it, but it is the whole city coming together to be part of this annual event.
There's a wonderful mix of people who've taken part. If you look at the different religions, different racial groups, and the youth taking part, This is a wonderful celebration.
So happy to see so many young people. That was actually our mission as the DYC, to get as many young people as we possibly could to come out today and join in. It was really phenomenal to see. There is actually a place for young people and non-violence in the future.
The commemoration is just basically to honor him and his legacy and his philosophy in life.
It's a wonderful day out, not forgetting the historical significance of this, to celebrate Gandhi's achievement.
It's been really well organized. Everyone seems happy. There's a lovely atmosphere. Everyone's getting on. Lots of good refreshments. I'm really enjoying it and I'm very happy to be here.
It was okay and it was fun, but my legs was failing a bit.
We had the young and the old and the fit and the not so fit.
This is when all the activists, all the people who believe in the Gandhian philosophy and support that philosophy come together and commit themselves again anew to live that philosophy in this society. He's really very alive. His ideas are more alive now than when he was living.
The actual salt march in India, that small act turned out masses were joining because one man decided to make a difference. His motto and his mission, which is what we're celebrating today, was to do it in a non-violent way.
Violence doesn't achieve its aims, but I think non-violence is able to achieve good results.
It's important for us to be part of any process that calls for peace, non-violence, goodwill, welcoming the other, forming caring communities and learning to live together.
To live in a peaceful society where violence is not an issue, you've already won half of the battle. So it is in fact a really vital step and crucial step for the future and for any society, and show their support for wanting to see South Africa less violent and more peaceful.
It was Gandhiji who once said, "Be the change that you want to see in the world." And like Mudita in New Delhi, it is up to you and I to help create a more loving and peaceful society. We play out today's episode with an all-time favorite, Prabhuji Sada Hi Kirpa, a devotee's earnest prayer seeking divine peace and blessings to stay on this path of truth and righteousness, like Gandhi the icon, or us ordinary souls, like you, I, or Mudita. This soul-stirring bhajan is performed by the talented Dharam Maharaj. Do enjoy and keep up your sadhana. Hari Om.
प्रभु जी सदा ही कृपा हम पे बनाए रखना, प्रभु जी सदा ही कृपा हम पे बनाए रखना। प्रभु जी सदा ही कृपा हम पे बनाए रखना, प्रभु जी सदा ही कृपा हम पे बनाए रखना। जो रास्ता सही हो, जो रास्ता सही हो, उस पे चलाए रखना, कृपा बनाए रखना, कृपा बनाए रखना। प्रभु जी सदा ही कृपा हम पे बनाए रखना। जहां के मालिक, तेरे दर के हम सवाली। सब कुछ गया है लेकिन मर्यादा है संभाली। जो सिखाया ना भुलाना, हर हाल मुस्कुराना, आंसू छुपाए रखना, कृपा बनाए रखना, कृपा बनाए रखना। प्रभु जी सदा ही कृपा हम पे बनाए रखना। दो जहां के मालिक, अब क्या गिला करूं मैं। सब एक बार मरते, क्यों रोज ही मरूं मैं। सह पाऊंगी मैं कैसे गम की चिता पे से। खुद को जलाए रखना, कृपा बनाए रखना, कृपा बनाए रखना। प्रभु जी सदा ही कृपा हम पे बनाए रखना। भुलाना, हर हाल मुस्कुराना, आंसू छुपाए रखना, कृपा बनाए रखना, कृपा बनाए रखना। प्रभु जी सदा ही कृपा हम पे बनाए रखना। दो जहां के मालिक, अब क्या गिला करूं मैं। सब एक बार मरते, क्यों रोज ही मरूं मैं। सह पाऊंगी मैं कैसे गम की चिता पे से। खुद को जलाए रखना, कृपा बनाए रखना, कृपा बनाए रखना। प्रभु जी सदा ही कृपा हम पे बनाए रखना।